Hello. Now, I am sitting in the car, which is quite an unusual feat for me, that I'm sitting in the car while charging, simply because their charger's in a place where there's not really anything to go to. And this wouldn't be my standard normal charger I would come to. But since I have like 25 minutes and I'm physically doing these films, then it isn't making that much difference. I'm currently at Gateshead International Stadium, and they have a charger here, and it's a proper 50 kilowatt charge your car card that you need to start the charger off. I am the only one here. It is a Sunday. I'd have a look at my watch, but it's on the hand holding the camera. It's 1:15. So let's get back to that. So I'm here charging, and what I thought I would discuss was I do not have a leaf just a leaf just okay, let's get back. I do not have a charger at home. The reason why I don't have a charger at home is simply because they wanted to charge like nearly £600 to have one fitted, and I didn't have £600, and I don't think that it justifies for the size of my battery to spend that much money, simply because if I did miles I could plug in at home and do a whenever charge if that's what I wanted to do. But I run on a simple plan. My plan is this: I run on fill the car with the cheapest electric from the cheapest supplier that will provide you with it. So, I am here at International Stadium with the charger card and a 50 kilowatt charger. Why am I here? Because this charger is free. And I did the whole of my trip around Scotland on these chargers. It didn't say the chargers were in any better position, but in Scotland they quite were. They outnumber ones that you pay for. Back home, it's slightly different, and not only that, the number of 50 kilowatt chargers within the range from my house to them are greatly reduced. I don't have as many. There's not as many as what I think there is in Scotland, which is weird, but there you go. So I pick the lowest cost provider for the electricity to put into the car. My second item is that I look for is speed. Now, it's all very well having loads of 7 kilowatts, but you know that if somebody's on a 7 kilowatt, they're going to be there for hours, maybe a lot of hours, before they're going to be charged and they're going to leave. And they're not in the positions which you would physically want them to be as much. Yeah, you have them here and there in the strangest places, which are just out of the way and nothing beside you, so you dump the car and then that's it. I just went last week, I went to Morpeth, and they have a charger at the council offices, and they used to have a 25, but that's not there anymore. They've took it out, so now all is a 122 and a line of 7s, and I went on to a 7 because the 22 was occupied by a Leaf. So I went on to the 7 and I went for a walk, but it was so far away from anything. It was a mile to the town centre. From there to the town centre was a mile, and I'm going, I don't feel like walking a mile. I was in that mood. So I did a bit of a walk, then came back, and after I think it was nearly 40 minutes, I'd only put 2 kilowatts of power into the car. So it wasn't even giving me the 7 that it was supposed to, and there was nobody else on the charger other than me. And so the 7s are fine for if you're going into your supermarket, but they should also technically, you should never pay for a 7, because they're not giving you that much power, and you're paying over the odds for how much they're going to, because some say we'll pay £1 and you can charge for an hour. Well, that's, if you're only going to get 2 or 3 kilowatts, then that's very expensive. So what we did, and how we go along and look at which chargers we connect to, is simply down to where they are and their cost. Now, I don't mind connecting to a 22 kilowatt charger. I did when I charged up at South Shields. The 50 kilowatt wasn't working. I put in what was supposed to be the 43, but seemed to be getting, it was going to take 2 hours and 20 minutes. And I went into the town, looked in the shops, bought some stuff, went to the seafront, had a walk along there. It was a lovely sunny day. So when I came back, although I wasn't planning completely to stay for long enough so the car would be full, I did stay for the time until it was full, because the walk and the shops and all of that took up that much time. And if you're going to be doing that's fine, because I physically arrived, I think it was 5 minutes left on the charger before it was finished, completely getting us up to, I think it was the 95%. And I'm going, well, I'll just wait the 5 minutes. So I went onto where the charger is. There's another bit of walk, and I went onto that for the 5 minutes, and came back and the car was done. And that's fine. There is times that you don't need a 50 kilowatt, and a slower one that might take 2 or 3 hours is fine, because the location you're at, there is something that you are doing, or there's something that you've arranged to do at that location. If you're going to a stately home or something like a National Trust property, then you could be at that property an hour and a half, 2 hours. So therefore, a charge that could get you full when you get there within that time period is totally fine. You don't need to have a charger that will charge you in 25 minutes. Boy, I'm irritated today. So, as we go back, I pick chargers which are free. I also, at the times, pick chargers which are fast enough for my needs at that time period. So I'm at a 50 because I need to get a fast enough charge so I can go back home. There's nothing to do here, so there's an Asda over there I've just noticed between the trees. I didn't know it was there. But then again, these are places I don't normally come to, so I'll go across there. And then when I come back, the car should be done. Brilliant! So, well, let's get back to it. Choose the chargers which suit your needs to charge you to a level that you want to be charged to. If all supermarkets had free 7 kilowatt chargers for the customers, then yes, you can go to your supermarket, charge up, and maybe get, if they're proper 7 kilowatt chargers, 35 miles worth of range. My range, not your range necessary, but my range. So therefore, you can get more miles than what you physically used. If I could get that much range with my local supermarket, which is 3 miles from where I live, then I will be in credit, you could say. But if you're then going to another supermarket, because how many people really just go to one supermarket and buy 100% of their shopping? It doesn't really happen that way. And if you think it does, then you must be spending more money than you should, because the better deals are using more than one supermarket or more than one shop to buy your food from. So if you leave one supermarket, then you're going to another supermarket to get something else, and they have 7, then you connect to them and you're looking around the shop and you come out, then you can get enough charge at the 7s to fulfill your daily need. And then you would only need, so I could come to these chargers and charge up to the 95%. Then I could just go home and connect it to the home charger and pay my electricity cost, and then take it up to the 99 or 100. Although 100 is very hard to get to for me. I put it on to 100 once, and within yards it had gone from 100 back to 99. So I don't think 100 is 100, which will give you the distance. So we have that. We have what is our idea of how we're going to charge. We try to keep away from too many slow ones in places that are not usable. These places are places like car showrooms, you can't really use them. Hospitals, they're not as very nice. Places that limit how long you can park for. Car parks where you have to pay to be in the car park even though you're charging, and you've only come there to charge, so therefore, yeah, I'm not so keen on them. So I have a number of car parks or a number of places that I can go to get my charge. One of them is a car park, but it's a free car park for everybody. And I think if you want people to use the shops, you have to have really free parking to encourage the people, because if you go to the out-of-town shopping centres, they all have free parking. So why pay for parking and then look around the shops and then have to... Do you get it? So my current philosophy is that charge at the cheapest, charge at what will utilise what time I have or what time I'm willing to spend. Then move on. I don't have to get a full charge at one spot. I could do something at one because I'm looking at somewhere, then go to the next place, then connect the charger, then do 2 charges rather than a single charge if time requires that. So no charger at home doesn't mean you can't drive an EV, but I think there should be more chargers that provide electricity for unit price that you would pay in your house in more places. Then people who do not have or can't charge at home can get charged. There is far too many spaces on a map when you look at it, how far between charges there that you would have to drive. But that's my waffle. Did I waffle on there? I probably did. But that's it for now. I'll catch you on the next video. And I'm away to Asda. Bye.